My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. UFC 263 is tomorrow. And not only do we have two title fights, but we have three total fights.
Look who's back.
5 rounds each.
People's champ is back.
Yay, Jacob's back. The interrupting is back. There will be several fart jokes, and we are back.
The fun is back.
If you don't know what Monkey Knife Fight is, and this is the first time you're watching this video, go to playmkf.com/wewantpicks and use promo code WWP for an instant deposit match. All you need to do is pay attention to what we're doing, and you will triple your money. We go into the fights. We touch on the total strike line, if it's going to be more, if it's going to be less, how you should play it, and how you should triple your money. So what we're going to do today is we are going to do the 3 big fights, and then each one of us are going to pick a fight that we like. So let's jump right in. We are going to start with Nate Diaz, the return of Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards. This is a 5-round fight, the only fight in UFC history that is 5 rounds that isn't for a title and isn't a main event. So Nate Diaz, they are saying he will land 153 strikes, and Leon Edwards is going to land 98. All we need to do is say they're going to land more or less than each one of these lines. Danny boy, I'll let you go first.
I'm going to go with less on Diaz because I think there's a chance he could get taken down in this fight a couple times. And I know he can really just, I don't know. I think we need to ask, do Stockton slaps count as significant strikes? I mean,
they're total strikes, but
come on, Dan.
That's a valid
strikes, whatever.
No, that's a valid question.
A strike.
So somebody commented, I forget your name, Brad or something like that. I forget. There was a ton of comments.
Very respectful to
somebody commented that it's not all strikes and referenced a strike line. When you're looking at total strikes in a fight, you will see 2 numbers with a slash. It'll say like 50/89. All that's saying is that person landed 50 of the 89 that they threw. But every single strike that actually connects, that was intentional, counts. The big variable is it is a human being deciding what counts. So, there's some subjectivity there, but it is every intentional strike, no matter how hard or how light it is. So, Daniel, Stockton slaps do count.
And we saw that last week with Jordan Levitt. I think he ended the fight with like 90-some total strikes, and I think he had 11 significant strikes because it was just literally when he was on his back, just doing these little like open hand hits to the head. He did 90 times. So.
Yeah, that makes me reevaluate this one a little bit. 153 total strikes, huh? I'm gonna go with less on Diaz. More on Edwards.
Diaz.
What if I set a line of 3.5 for Stockton slaps? Are you going more or less? 3.5.
More.
Okay.
100%.
Angelo, more or less?
I think
he gets 2 in.
2? Only 2?
Angel's not even listening.
I'm listening. There was a very rude.
What was the question?
Listen, I'm not gonna play that game. There was a very rude.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna play that game.
Very rude comment.
I'll Venmo you $500.
A very rude comment I needed to delete. Anyway, I think I'm with you, Dan. I originally went more and more, but I think the line was lower when I went more and more. It is a 5-round fight. Nate Diaz is busy everywhere. He lays on his back, blah 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 blah, random pepper nonsense. It all counts. So. I liked it when Nate's was lower, but in this case, I do think less Nate, more Leon is probably the play. I don't think there's a stoppage. I think Nate Diaz's head is way too hard for there to be a stoppage here. So I'm not buying
into that. I'd agree with you, but I think there's a chance Diaz could get cut up pretty bad.
Well, that
in the clinch.
Yeah.
and you know his scar tissue is very susceptible to getting cut. So
That is
I
very
like
true.
less more here, though. More is not a bad play either because, yeah, he's going to throw a ton of stuff off his back, and he's going to be hitting the ribs and just, yeah.
I played more earlier in the week at a lower line. I'm not going to play this again. I'm going to leave my more at the lower line. Comment down below. Let us know what you're going to do. I am curious how people feel about that line. It's very high, but Nate Diaz just throws constant. You didn't pick Jacob? I thought you did. What were you rambling on about? Go ahead. What's your play, Jacob?
Angelo, very defensive. Jacob is now up for one show. You started the last show. You didn't even want to address where he was. I mean, let the People's Champ have his time.
Is it People's Champ? There's not even an apostrophe.
People's Champ. That's just my name. It's not an
apostrophe. Yeah. You're not owned by the people.
Yeah, I'm gonna go less here because I think Leon finds a way to finish the fight and finish it early. You know, Nate always gets hit. He always gets stunned. You know, he never really goes down. Sometimes he does go down. He always survives, but eventually someone's going to find a way to put him away. And I think that person's going to be Leon Edwards. This might be the best person he's ever faced outside of Conor McGregor, honestly. So I think that Leon ends it early, so I'd take the less here.
Less. All right. I don't think less is terrible, although I think Leon will be somewhat busy. So we were not helpful at all. We had a more, a less, and a less. Very, very solid insight for the people. We are moving to the co-main event, one of 3 rematches on the card, and we have Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. The strike line is crazy high on Figueiredo, but this is a rematch, and that last fight went 5 full rounds of back and forth war. If this was the last fight, they would have blown through this line. I don't know if this is going to be the last fight. One takeaway from the weigh-ins is that Figueiredo looked terrible. What did you say, Jacob? He made weight with like 1 minute left. They basically had to hold him up, drag him on the scale, and then immediately rushed him out. So
I think he stumbled up onto but that's normal for him. He made it.
Correct, but every year that goes by, that gets harder and harder, worse and worse. The recovery is longer and longer. Either way, I played the more earlier in the week. This line moved. But I still think more may be a solid play. And I'll let you guys know real quick what Dan and I did. If you didn't watch our individual breakdown video earlier in the week, the way Monkey Knife Fight works is you triple your money when you win. So if you play 3 and lose 1, you still make a ton of money. What Dan and I did, or at least what I did, Dan, you said you would, I played more and less. So I'm going to lose one of those, guarantee. But when I did it, it was like 100 and something versus 100 and something. So the lines were very close. Yeah. And the logic was that it's a 5-round war or somebody gets stopped. If somebody gets stopped, it's under. If it's a 5-round war, it's over. So the way I played it was, let's say I played $10. I'm in for 20, but you triple your money, you get 30. So I played 20, I win 30. That's what I did earlier in the week. This is a completely new line. I would not do that with this line. So what I would do here, I would go more. I would go less on Figueiredo, more on Moreno. Unless you are one of the people that thinks Figueiredo stops Moreno early, then obviously go less. But I think more is probably the play here. Danny boy.
I was going to say, you could do the same. I mean, you could do what you just said, more. I agree there with this new line. And if you wanted to play the 2 of the 3 and just lower your odds a bit, you could do less with the stoppage. You could do less and more. I don't think Deiveson Figueiredo is going to get 127.
In the last fight, he definitely did, but this isn't going to be the last fight.
I mean, I don't know. I listen. I have a feeling. I have a feeling that Figueiredo is going to do something and get a stoppage earlier on this one, whether it be a sub or a knockout. But I just don't. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong and it's an awesome fight again because that was fun to watch. But I don't know. I don't think it'll go the same way this time.
It'll be interesting.
I have no reason to think that. I just don't.
No, and
gut feeling.
We already broke this fight down, and we both said that I think Figueiredo was sort of caught off guard by how good Brandon Moreno was, and that is no longer a surprise. So I imagine he's way more prepared, way more focused. And I think he's a little embarrassed that it was a draw. And you brought up a good point. It was only a draw because of the illegal nut kick. Otherwise, it's unanimous decision win. So,
Right.
Jacob, what's your play here? You're a Figgy knockout guy, so.
So why would you? Okay, well, there you go. Well,
All right, Jacob's going less. Is that your play, less?
Just super disrespectful.
All right, moving on. Show goes on. In the main event of the evening, also a rematch. We have Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori. The first fight went 3 full rounds. Now we have 5 rounds to work with. This is very similar to the last line, except everything's a little lower. I am good. Man, this is another tricky one. I think
This is why you got to jump on them early in the week because they're very, very different by the end of the week. And yeah, it's forcing you to do that. I mean, I'm looking at less more, but go ahead. What do you think?
I was thinking more, honestly. I think Izzy, if you watch our videos and if you watch our betting breakdown, I have Marvin Vettori winning this fight, but I don't think either one of them gets stopped. I think Marvin Vettori will win because he'll get takedowns when he needs them. With that being said, I think after Izzy's last loss, I think he's not going to defend the takedowns. I don't think he's going to do his own takedowns, but I think he'll be so much busier with tons of volume while trying to stop the takedowns. And on bottom, I don't think he's going to stop. So I think he's going to be very high volume. And Vettori's line is pretty low for 5 rounds. So I think more is the play here.
You know, actually, now that I think about it, I think because I don't see. I too think Vettori can win this fight, and over 5 rounds. Jacob, you're the math guy. What is that per round?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah,
That's like 11 per round, Danny.
it's 20 per round for.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Well,
Can you use it in a sentence?
Right. So 20 strikes around. Yeah, I think Adesanya will do that on a decision. If Vettori keeps taking him down, even from bottom, he'll chip away. So I agree with you, Angelo. More. Jacob, what you got, kid?
More. I agree.
oh, we
Look at that. We're all in agreement.
We agree. Let me throw $10 on this just so you guys can see how this works. You just click the more. I'm going to do $10.
Well, you got a lot more money in your account this
I was
week.
gonna say, can they see your account balance this time?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's only 72.
Wow.
I've played a bunch of these lines already because here's
Every
the
week, it's a new.
all right. Here's the conundrum. Earlier in the week, you'll get better lines, but you only 2.5 times your money.
Do you know the best line that I saw? The best lines I saw?
What?
Jacob.
Earlier in the week, you get 2.5 times your money, and the lines are a little better. Later in the week, you get 3 times your money, but the money coming in move the line, so they're a little trickier. I still like the more here. I already have a more play, but just to show you guys how this works, you pick more, $10, and you see very clearly here, you buy in at 10, the prize is 30. You click submit, I accept, and the show goes on.
Declined. What?
You have a very incredibly low balance. So now each one of us are going to pick a fight that we like and walk through those lines. Jacob, I'll let you go first. You seem to be very disheveled. Something's going on here. Let's wake you up. What fight do you want?
Scroll up, please. Let's do Felipe and Jake.
Oh, you stole my one. You son of a gun.
All right, so we have the opening fight of the entire card. We have Carlos Felipe versus Jake Collier. If you don't know this, Jake Collier fought at middleweight. Now he's like a 300-pound heavyweight. He's had quite the
Angelo,
yo-yo in his career.
He's got to be under 265. Let's not forget.
So he made the weight. He is a big dude. This line also moved up. This was a much lower line early in the week. I hammered the more when it was a lower line.
What was it? I don't know what it was.
I'll have to.
No, I got it right here. It was 75.49. It's the same line.
It's the same line. For some reason, I thought it was low.
Unreal.
Well, I hit it.
Unreal. Bragging about the plays he's making earlier in the week when he's not even actually making.
Anyway, I hit
strategist.
this line. I hit this line. I think it goes to a decision. I think it's a tough fight. I know
This
if
was
you watch
supposed
our
to be
betting
mine, and all of
breakdown,
a sudden you just took over. What the hell happened here?
Well,
Jacob,
you want to
let
get
him
snotty.
You
finish.
just took over.
Can we just solve this, everyone? We're all doing more and more on this one. It's going to be a 3-round decision where they both punch each other a lot, right? We all agree?
More
There
and
we
more.
go.
Well, yes, I agree. And watch the individual fight breakdown video. So we're just kind of breezing through this, having some drinks. But the reality is we broke down every single one of these fights in detail, including the strike lines here. So check out those videos if you're interested in one of these lines. We're going more and more. These are two heavyweights. Carlos is a big favorite, but we at least Dan and I, Jacob wasn't here for the breakdown, but Dan and I are pretty high on Jake Collier. I think Carlos probably wins, but this really fight go 3 rounds. They both have cement heads. More
Felipe is going to destroy him.
I have Felipe winning. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to post this. We'll talk about this later. Daniel, what's the fight that
Let's
you
go
like?
to the Hill-Craig fight, since Jacob stole my one. Jacob,
Where
you know
are
what
we
this
at?
was earlier in the week? You want to let the people know?
Hill Craig. So we have
Craig
Jamal Hill.
I'm sorry, Dana. It's asking me a
I
question. What is
asked- Oh my
the
God.
deal?
All right,
You're
I
right.
asked,
Go ahead.
The people's
I
champ
thought it would take
question.
you longer.
Can we mute him?
According to my notes on Tuesday, it was still this line.
Okay. Thank you, Jacob. Just wanted to make sure before, somebody jumped in and said, all right, go ahead, Angelo.
So we have Jamal Hill versus Paul Craig. We are getting a ton of support and flack for this pick. Jamal Hill, great striker, tons of knockout power. Paul Craig, relentless wrestler, head down, arms out, shooting for takedowns over and over. We are pretty high on Paul Craig to win this fight. Because of that, I personally went less on Jamal Hill, more on Paul Craig. Danny boy, what did you do?
Is that what I did earlier in the week? Is that what I said I was going to do earlier in the week?
And just
I don't know what
just
you
so everyone
were
knows,
going to do, but that is what I
honestly,
actually
the
did.
more that I think about it, I think this one's going to be a more. I mean, this is one where you can go two ways, right? If you want to, in my mind, almost guarantee. I never say guarantee like Angelo does, but you could do more because I think Craig will get some takedowns. I know everyone thinks Jamal Hill is going to knock Craig out in the first minute. Could happen. I don't see it happening. I think Craig knows the easiest path to victory in this fight is getting takedowns. He's not the best wrestler, but he's been improving, I think. I mean, granted, it was against an older Shogun, but the fights I saw with Jamal Hill, he got taken down anytime somebody even touched his leg. So I think Craig will get takedowns. I think he will land some strikes. I think he could get a sub. So, there's a lot of factors, but I'm going more and more on this. I think Craig will get the takedowns. Hill will get some strikes in. He'll get them from the bottom. He'll get them while they're standing for a little bit. And I think overall, total strikes, I'm going more and more.
It's 3 rounds. You're going with your 20 strikes per round logic that you used before. So you think it'll go the distance, and if he throws a little more than 20 per round, you'll hit them more, right? Fair enough.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't think there's it's funny because obviously some of these fights are going to have stoppages, and you need to factor that into your play. But everything so far that we hit, the Figgy one is the only fight that I think there might be a stoppage.
this is a stoppage.
So you're on the opposite. I wish you did the breakdown with us. You're on the opposite side of Dan and I on most of these. So go ahead.
People are. I'm getting. There's a lot of people who are very high on Jamal Hill.
Yeah, as they should be. He's a killer. I just think we talked about styles make fights, and this is not a good style. Jacob,
I feel like this could be another Kevin Holland thing where when he's on the up and up and he's able to strike and he's looking great, he looks unbeatable, and it takes someone to come out with a pure wrestling game plan to just.
I think he's going to have something waiting for him. Uppercut or something. He knows the shots are coming. He'll have the strike for it. A knee.
Yeah, we'll see.
Something.
By the way, I don't think he's near as good of a striker as Kevin Holland is.
Nobody is the striker Kevin Holland
I know.
is.
You love Kevin Holland.
You are a big Kevin Holland fan.
He's the top 10 talent in the UFC. There's no denying
Oh
that.
God, we're gonna go back into what
Now
was
he's
his
at-
stat last time? He is the highest
Most accurate
percentage
striker in
middleweight of all time. Some stupid stat.
Of all time, literally.
Yeah. The most accurate middleweight of
How'd that
history.
bet work out for you last time, right? I'm still counting my money from it.
I don't know what you're talking
So
about.
anyway, what's your play, Jacob? Less then?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm not.
Less.
I'm going to leave this alone. And what I like to do, hopefully we're helpful. I mean, this is not our best work.
Listen, at the end of the day, we like to argue and all that, but check the site out. It's a lot of fun because you'll look at certain fights, and depending on how you think it's going to go, we say this all the time. I think the best way to consistently win money on this site is whatever your bankroll is for Monkey Knife fights, spread it across 8 to 10 fights that you have a good feeling about how the outcome is going to be, whether it's a decision, whether it's an early finish, and play those outcomes as if they're going to happen, what the strike should look like. I think I've lost money on 1 week out of how many we've been doing this now? 8, 9.
I think it's like 8.
Time flies when you're having fun, huh, guys?
Yeah, well, time flies when you're making money. But yeah, that would be my recommendation. Don't zone in on 1 or 2. Spread it out across a bunch, because if you have a good feeling, you'll get more right than. I mean, like Angelo always says, if you win 4 out of 9, you win money.
If you win 4 out of 8, you double your money. You double it. Half. You only have to be right half the time, and you double the money that you play. So this is what you guys should do.
With the curve.
This is the easiest way to do it. Go to playmkf.com/WeWantPicks. Use promo code WWP. They will instantly match your deposit. If you're nervous, you don't know what to deposit $20. They'll give you 20. Take the 20 and do $2
They'll match you up to
100,
$100, right? $100.
They'll do it up to 100, but I'm saying if you're nervous, just do $20. Then play $2 on 10 fights and see what it looks like on Sunday morning. It costs you $0 because it's their $20, not yours. And you'll see what it looks like, and then you go from there what you're comfortable with. It's a ton of fun. It's super easy. I did a full video earlier this morning walking through, because not only do they do strikes, they do fantasy points. We're not going to do that here, but just check out the video. It walks you through it. And we're literally, yes, we're we work with them, we're partners with them, but straight up, it's a ton of fun, and it's the easiest money to make on UFC. Period. End of story. My pick for the week is I like to do the Star Shootout. I did the Star Shootout main card. And what you have to do here is you just have to pick who is going to land more strikes. That's it. So I have between Nate Diaz and Davison Figueiredo, and Figueiredo gets 26.5 strikes. The only reason this is tricky is because Figueiredo might get a stoppage, but I'm going with Figueiredo. He gets the points, and it's also a 5-round fight, and he's busy and should win. I'm taking Figueiredo. And then I have to pick between Belal Muhammad and Israel Adesanya. Izzy's only getting 2.5. But this is 5 rounds versus 3 rounds. I'd be foolish to go with 3. I'm going Izzy. So my play here is Figueiredo and Izzy over Nate Diaz and Belal Muhammad. What are your thoughts, Danny?
I definitely like the Izzy play over Belal Muhammad.
Let him know, Dan. Let him know.
But I think Nate Diaz might get more on this. I think there's more ways that Nate Diaz could get more than Figueiredo, just because I think the Figueiredo fight's going to end early. So that alone, and I think Diaz, unless he gets a bad cut and the doctor stop it, I think he'll be in there throwing whatever it is from wherever he is. He's going to be throwing something. So I like Diaz. I like Diaz and Adesanya.
He looked incredible. Like he looked like he put on like some good weight. He looked
Nate?
good. Yeah.
The only thing is they're giving Figueiredo 26.
That's 25 is so many points.
Right. I still like Diaz because I do think Figueiredo is gonna finish this fight earlier. This time around. So.
All right, well, I'm going Figueiredo, Adesanya. You're going Nate, Adesanya. Jacob, what's your play?
Yeah, I'm going Nate and Izzy.
Nate, okay.
My man.
All right, I'm gonna lock this in. I'll throw $10 at it. 10 to win 30. Let's lock it in. So that's our breakdown. Watch the individual fight breakdowns. If you have questions about specific fights, if there's a line that's confusing, comment down below. We'll talk you through our logic. At the end of the day, go to playmkf.com/wewantpicks.
Angelo, you got to take some of these winnings and pay your internet bill so you could upgrade to a better.
Why did I just freeze?
Better bandwidth.
Yeah, you've been
breaking up a little bit.
I
know the storms, Texas. We hear it every week.
It's not the internet. It's my freaking. It's my old MacBook, and I thought they were going to announce new ones last week, and they didn't. So now I still have to wait till the new
Wow, I remember having this conversation. It's very strange.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
PlayMKF.com/wewantpicks. Promo code WWP. If you've never done this before, take the free money from the promo code. Play the lines. See how you do Sunday. Come back. Let us know. We will see you for the fights on Saturday.